Hey everybody, Johnny Delicoli here with my season preview for the Season 7 of the Quebec Pokemon League. It's a doubles VGC draft league. So the way it works is that you play doubles VGC rules, but you're allowed to use Pokemon found inside the game. No mythics, no cover legendaries, but you're allowed using like trio legendaries like the birds, or if you want to use the horses, you're allowed to use them, but nothing over the top in terms of legendaries. It is a Quebec League, so it's my first ever season. I'm excited, but I'm going to do my team preview in English because that's the language I'm comfortable with and I can explain my choices better. So to any of the other league members that are watching this, je m'excuse tellement, je vais le faire en anglais. So the way it works is that it's a snake draft, so first pick will pick first all the way down to 16th. As you can see, I'm 5th on the list. But then after, when it gets to the bottom, they pick again and then it goes up and back and forth. That's what a snake draft, how it works. So basically, it makes it fair for everybody, especially for those who have the 16th pick. Pokemon are divided in tier lists in terms of power and what they offer to competitive Pokemon play in terms of VGC style. So let's make it fair, because you have to pick one of each category for free. But then there's also consequences that come with taking Pokemon from the same category, and we'll get to that later. The only Pokemon that's allowed to Dynamax is the G-Max Pokemon, which is like your team captain, let's say. Those are the only ones that are allowed to even transform transform Dynamax in the battle. So the other Pokemon, even though there are some Pokemon that are better when they're Dynamax, they can't. Only your G-Max Pokemon. So it's very crucial that you draft to cover the weaknesses and promote the strengths of your Gigantamax Pokemon. There is a 400-point salary cap system. So as I was explaining before, the categories are S, A, B, C, D. If I take a Pokemon from the S category, it's going to cost me 180 points for my second one, and then another 180 points for my third one. So you have to draft smart. So you don't want to overtake Pokemon that are just going to eat up your cap space. So you obviously have to take 10 total Pokemon, one from each category, and then 5 from any categories from there. So you got to be careful how you manage your cap space. I did it smartly. I used up my entire cap space, and I think I've optimized my team because of it. And there's 16 total teams, so there's a lot of games that we're going to be playing in the season. We have 15 weeks total, so I need to be smart and make sure that I have coverage for almost everything, depending on what my week matchup is, because it's very diversified, the playing field. So the way I drafted was my G-Max Pokemon was Toxtricity. My tier S picks were Rillaboom and Incineroar. My tier A picks were Suicune and Garchomp. My tier B pick was Klefki. Tier C was Aromatisse and Avalugg. And then tier D, which is the lower tier, was Phalanx and Shedinja. And I'm going to explain each of my picks right now. My slides are going to be a bit out of order. It's going to be Suicune first before Incineroar, but bear with me. So Toxtricity is going to be my team captain. He's electric, poison type, times 4 weak to ground and times 2 to psychic, so I need to play around that. But his G-Max move and his G-Max form right here, called G-Max Stun Shock, fantastic move. It basically paralyzes or poisons both Pokemon on the opposing team. It determines, it's random what's going to happen. Both can be paralyzed, both can be poisoned, or it could be one of each. Great G-Max move because status ailments are always beneficial in terms of competitive play, especially when it's paralysis, because paralysis cuts their speed, so it allows Toxtricity to outspeed them, or even other Pokemon to outspeed them. So he's very, very, very good if used properly. His base stats, though, not the greatest, but not the worst. He's not the bulkiest Pokemon around, as you can see, with base 75 HP, base 70 defense, base 70 Spadef. But his high special attack makes up for it. Basically, with the base 75 speed, he's too fast for Trick Room Pokemon, too slow for Tailwind teams, but you could still play around with it. He has potential. I've hit Master Ball with Toxtricity before. I used Clefairy to help him out, but it's possible. I know I can probably work around with him. I took him because it's my first ever season, and I'm familiar with it, so that's why I went with Toxtricity. My next Pokemon, I'm like, okay, well, he's times 4 to ground, so what deals with ground-based moves? Rillaboom. Why does Rillaboom deal with ground-based moves? Because he has an ability called Grassy Surge. I took these photos from the internet. My Rillaboom is not... Oh, the photos this way, my bad. Camera's inverted. My Rillaboom is not called Buttercup. But still, Monkey is still really good with Grassy Surge because Grassy Surge creates grassy terrain, which reduces the damage of Earthquake, Magnitude, Bulldoze. It doesn't reduce Fisher because Fisher obviously it's a co move, but basically it helps deal with at times for weakness with Toxtricity. Also, Grassy Surge is that it creates recovery. As you saw, a lot of my picks, most of the better choices were bulky Pokemon. So the longer they stay healthy, the better it is for me. Why I chose Rillaboom is because in Grassy Surge, with the Grassy Surge, he gets a priority move called Grassy Glide. Grassy Glide's fantastic because priority move has access to Fake Out, another priority move. Support moves like Knock Off, U-Turn, Wood Hammer for high damage, high horsepower for the ground base coverage. Basically, Rillaboom is a good all-around Pokemon. You can run many item sets with it. AV for Assault Vest, Life Orb, Choice Band, Miracle Seed, whatever you want with him, a berry set. He brings a lot of options to the table. His base stats are pretty good too. High HP and high defense, so he's not taking much physical damage. But that is okay, it's average. It's like Toxtricity, but that attack stat this guy hits like a truck. Base 85 speed is good speed. It's not the worst, but it's not the absolute best, but it's still really good. He's basically going to be a good physical attacker. Grassy Surge is going to be very key for us, and just the fact that I can use many different item sets for him keeps my opponent on their toes. So my third pick, not my second pick because it's out of order my slides, and to fix the slides on Streamlabs OBS is a nightmare, was Suicune. So Suicune is a bulky water type. That's not, unfortunately, Milotic or Tapu Fini, but what it does offer is Tailwind. Now, I wanted a bulky water type, and the fact that the Pokemon offers Tailwind support, it's not a priority Tailwind, but still, the fact that I get a Tailwind setter is great because it has inner focus, so you can't fake it out. It's not gonna flinch. And when I set up Tailwind, at least my Toxtricity's lack of speed gets boosted by 2 stages. It has access to many moves like Calm Mind if you want to make it a little bit stronger, Snarl for support, Ice Beam, Scald, you name it. Bulky water Pokemon is always good for the game. And for see how bulky it is, that's how bulky it is. 100 base HP, 115 base defense, and 115 base special defense. We all know how much Suicune can wall. Special attack at base 90, still good. Not super fantastic, but still good. And if I run Calm Mind, it becomes stronger. Base 85 speed, same tier as Rillaboom. Basically not too fast, but not slow either. With Tailwind, that really is not a problem. But yeah, Suicune was a bulky water type Pokemon that I wanted to bring to the team with Tailwind to help speed. So if I have a water type and I have a grass type, I need a fire type to complete my team. And my second pick was Incineroar, which was my second tier S pick. Suicune was my first tier A, and Rillaboom was my first tier S. Now Incineroar, best VGC Pokemon I have seen in a very long time. It's been like this since Sun and Moon, when it got Intimidate as its ability. Basically, Intimidate's one of the better abilities to use for doubles. Lowers your opponent's attack stat. It has access to Fake Out, as you can see the image here, which is good to kind of start move order or kind of get yourself set up if you're going to lead them out with a setup mon. Parting shot, to lower my opponent's attack and special attack. Taunt. I can use Snarl with it if I want to use a special attack on him. Flare Blitz for a lot of damage. Darkest Lariat, which is its signature move. And he's pretty strong. He's also pretty bulky itself. Base 90 defense, base 90 special defense, 95 HP, which is still really good, and base 115 attack. He can take the hits and he can dish them out. 60 base speed, he's slow, but this is good because if I ever face up a Trick Room matchup, I have a slow Pokemon to kind of function in Trick Room. I can run diverse move sets with him as well. Sorry, item sets with him as well, like AV, Berry, Safety Goggles. Mind you, I don't think Powders might be an issue. I know there's one team with an Amoonguss and one team with Venusaur, but nonetheless, I can run many different items with him. Honestly speaking, Incineroar is probably one of the best VGC Pokemon for what he can do and how diverse and how unique. I don't want to say unique, but how flexible he is. That's a better word. So my second tier A pick was Landshark or Garchomp. Now Garchomp, what's good about Garchomp is everything. He's fast and he's strong. So you can run Choice Scarf, Choice Band, Life Orb, If you want to make him a bit more supportive, you can, because he does have access to good support moves like Bulldoze and Breaking Swipe. Or you can just use him for max speed, max attack with Rock Slide and hopefully get some quick flinches. Honestly speaking, Garchomp, yeah, he does have a times 4 weakness to Ice, but still not a big worry, because like I said, the stats are what I care about. 130 attack, 102 speed, total base stats overall 600. This thing is a monster. Honestly, you can't say enough about Garchomp. But to keep the video a bit shorter, I won't go too deep into it. But yeah, item diversity, move pool, what it can do, fantastic. So because of the salary cap system, I only had one tier B pick, which was fine. I went with Klefki. Now the reason why I went for Klefki is because I wanted a Steel Fairy type to complete the Dragon Steel Fairy core. It's not as specific as the Fire Water Grass where I have 3 specific Pokemon. This is divided in 2, but nonetheless I still have a core for it. What I like about Klefki is that it has an ability called Prankster. Now with Prankster, what's so good about it is that he has access to screens, which is Light Reflect. He has access to some disturbing moves like Metal Sound or even Thunder Wave. And you can use Foul Play if you want to use its special attack. You can use Dazzling Gleam. Klefki itself is a great support mom. He's not gonna deal a lot of damage, and he's not gonna be able to take a lot, but the fact that he gets priority to set up certain moves is very major, because sometimes there'll be some Pokemon that are hyper aggressive that we need to bulk it out for a bit, weather the storm, and then push back. So Klefki was a Pokemon that I wanted. Like I said, the key thing about Klefki for me was Prankster. So as you can see here, as its stats, yeah, sure, special defense is high, but HP is a little low. You're not gonna be using him for attacks, so his attack stat and special attack stat is not anything that you should really worry about. And base 75 speed is meh, but if you're using it for Prankster for priority moves, speed's not really a big deal. My next pick for tier C was Aromatisse. I went with Aromatisse because I wanted a Trick Room setter that is bulky enough to take a hit if you needed to take hits and can set up Trick Room. I got the idea because back in XY when it was released, that's when I seriously got into competitive VGC. I copied a team that a player topped with on Nugget Bridge. I forget what the article was. Basically, it was a Trick Room team that led Aromatisse, Crafty. And that's when I saw the Aromatisse is actually pretty good. It has access to its ability Aroma Veil, which prevents it from being taunted or being interrupted from setting up Trick Room. So I don't even have to run Mental Herb on it. I can set up Trick Room without any disturbance. So I have a Tailwind setter if I need a faster Pokemon. But if I'm going up against teams that have Prankster Tailwind setters, I'm going to bring Aromatisse. Why? Because my team's going to be slower, but I'll set up the Trick Room so like that I get priority. So their Tailwind is rendered null and void, and my Trick Room supersedes the Tailwind. So that's why I went with that. It's not the strongest hitter. Special attack 99 is pretty good. Obviously, you can see he's low speed, perfect Trick Room user. Has access to moves like I'm sorry, I'm blanking out right now. Ally Switch, Moonblast, other Helping Hand. Great Trick Room setters, what you want. So that's why I went with that. My second tier C pick, which ate up 60 out of my remaining 100 points, was Avalog. So I went with Avalog because I wanted a hard hitter for Trick Room. It's an ice type, so it helps diversify my team types. And honestly speaking, it's good. Ice type sucks because it's weak to a lot of stuff like fire, rock, fighting. But if your opponent has a dragon type, ruins it. It's even weak to steel. It's one of the worst defensive typings, but great offensive typings. And in Trick Room, he's a monster if he takes hits. But the thing is, he can't take the hits. 95 base HP, 184 base defense. His special defense is weak. That is very frail. But the fact that he's got high defense, high HP, you can run a body press set with him to raise its defense with iron defense. You can run a curse set. You can pretty much, it has access to amazing moves like Rock Slide, Earthquake, Ice Fang, I think Heavy Slam as well. Like, it has a lot of options in terms of attacks. It can hit like a truck, and in Trick Room, this would be pretty much my my best attacker. So I brought that. I'm like, if I'm gonna need to use slower team versus a very fast team, I'll bring in Avalugg and Aromatisse, the AAs as I call it, to pretty much counteract that. So now I have my 2 tier D picks. Not the greatest, but they have some usefulness to them. First is Phalanx. Phalanx is basically a wonderful Pokemon that has access to no retreat. No retreat just boosts all your stats by 1 with the cost of not being able to switch out. Not a big deal. If I give it, like, let's say a Grassy Seed or a defensive item or even a White Herb, it's great. If I want to give it a Life Orb, I can do that too. Basically, that no retreat is what sells me this Pokemon, because it just boosts all its stages by 1, and you go to town with close combat, with it's got a lot of physical moves. I'm sorry, I don't know Phalanx by heart, but I do know that he has some usefulness. He is a fighting type, so it allows me to diversify my team setting, and I can use him if I want to use him in the Tailwind. I can use him in Tailwind, and if I don't want to use no retreat and use him in Trick Room, I could, but not the greatest. I would say more for the Tailwind team. But based on your attack, based on your defense, it could take hits and deal hits back. Special defensively and HP wise, not great, especially being a fighting type. Psychic types are going to be coming in from nowhere, from everywhere. But you know what? If flying type is usually flying types are physical attackers, it can handle the hits after 1 no retreat. And if it's fast enough to do it. Especially, like I said, if it has a Grassy Seed or Weakness Policy, White Herb, whatever, even better. And for my final tier D pick, to eat up the last 40 points of my remaining 100 points, Shedinja. The reason why I took Shedinja was because of Wonder Guard. As you can see on the screen, its mysterious power only lets super effective moves hit the Pokemon, meaning that the only way to deal damage to Shedinja is by hitting with a special effective move. Shedinja will always have 1 HP, no matter what. Level 100 Shedinja will have 1 HP. But you use moves like, you can use moves like Toxic, Will-O-Wisp, you can use Poltergeist with him, you can use Shadow Sneak, you can use many different moves. Ally Switch, I already said Ally Switch, what did I say? You run it with Focus Sash, which is basically the only item I would consider with the Shedinja. Imagine using Life Orb. But you use Focus Sash like that. If you do take a super effective hit, it lives, and it gives you, let's say, a free try or a free turn, or it's like an extra life for Shedinja. So, and if your opponent doesn't have an answer to this Pokemon, it's annoying to deal with. If they don't have an answer, you can't get rid of it. I've seen Shedinja go to town in certain formats. I think he's a good sleeper pick. He's not. He has a lot of potential. He's not the best Pokemon, but he does bring stuff to the table, and he's a Ghost Bug type, so that really brings a whole diversity to my team. As you can see here with the base stats, 90 base attack, it's higher than what I thought it was, but everything else is not that great. But hey, if I use him in Trick Room, who cares? He can be pretty annoying Pokemon to deal with. And there you go, that's my season preview. It's not the best, it's my first time ever doing it. I wanted to have a green screen set up, but unfortunately I had issues with that, so forget about it. My lighting's not the greatest in this room, but when I play games this season, I will be recording my screen, and I will be providing analysis and previews and reviews of each week, so that you guys can have a chance to see how I play, how my opponents play, and you can also offer advice, or even if you're interested in just look. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions or commentary, or if you have any criticism or anything like that, please let me know. All critique is good, as long as it's help me grow and it's actually productive and not like, oh Johnny, you suck, get off the screen. But yeah, thank you for watching. Bye guys.